Hi, everybody. Welcome to Planet Holistic. I'm your host, Todd Schaefer, and with me, as always, is my co-host,
Kira Schaefer.
And we've got an amazing podcast for you today. Today, we have a wonderful guest, one of our authors, Elizabeth Harbin.
Harbin!
Master Harbin.
The Master Harbin.
Welcome to the show, Elizabeth. How are you?
Thank you, guys. I love being here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. Before we dive into our topic today, can you tell us really quickly what your experience has been publishing with As You Wish Publishing?
Well, for me, being like my first publishing experience ever, I would have to say it's been absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. You guys just took over all of the stuff that I had no clue as to what to do, where to go, how do you make this happen. And what you do is you allow the author just to be an author. And that's a really big deal. It's a big deal for me because I'm not one who, just let me write or just let me talk or let me do my thing. It's the other stuff that gets me really, really confused on what to do. Mm-hmm. And it's, I know without question that you guys were sent to me. So it's been the best opportunity that I could have ever had. And quite frankly, I can't get enough people to sign up. I can't get enough people to become authors. It's like, okay, you need to do this. You need to write this. Because I think what happens with a lot of people is they've had the experiences of other people. It's cost them $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 to get their book out. And if you really do not have big bucks, that's putting you in a very precarious financial situation.
Yes.
With this, you get to just be you. You get to just write, and you get to concentrate on those topics. That's the main thing for the reader. You want to be free enough to just be able to express yourself and just worry about those things. And so my experience is that I told every one of my students, people at my church, just about wherever I go, that if you're going to be writing your book, this is the experience. This is the way it needs to be, to where you can just simply have the best experience possible. And so far, everybody has just jumped on board. I'm just thrilled.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
So that's great, because that leads us right into what we're talking about today, which is faith, and taking that leap of faith, but also believing and trusting what you are guided to do and to experience a life filled with faith. So can you tell us, you're going to be our master teacher today. Tell us what your experience has been in this world and how people can follow their faith more easily.
One of the situations seriously pertaining to me being an author here is the fact that I just had to believe that this would be a situation that would work. My mom had asked me to write a book for her, and of course I said yes. Wasn't sure how I was going to make it happen. I had no clue how to get started, what to do, any of that. All of the details. I had no clue. And I kept going around saying, now look, Mother, if this is really something you want me to do after you pass, you're going to have to help me. Okay, so she passes. Months have gone by, and the situation arises where I just had to say, I have to believe this is going to happen. I'm just going to leave it up to you. And if this is the way for me to go, I know you're going to make it happen. And sure enough, it happened. And it was one of those kind of moments where, as much as you talk about it to your students, as much as you tell them certain things, when it's you, it does become a totally different kind of scenario. And then it happened, and it worked. And so from that moment on, anytime I had an issue or something did not go through, I would have to say, I have to believe in the faith. I have to believe in my faith. I have to believe that this is going to work. I have to believe this. Mm-hmm. And then I would let it go. And every time it would come back, I would just have to say again, I have to believe that this is going to work. and let it go, because I think a lot of times people expect it to come in one way. And if you'll be open to allow the universe to work its magic, then it will work the way that it is supposed to, with the least amount of effort and the greatest success that could possibly happen. So when this situation came with the book, it was, I had just let it go, just left it alone. And my friend, Dina, who is, another major player in this authorship, she heard what she needed to. So me getting out of the way and being open to allow other people to get the information that will come to you, that's what you have to do. You have to believe that it's going to be the easiest, most effective way possible. But you can say you have faith, and I'm a big proponent in whatever your faith is. But if you don't believe it from your heart, if you do not believe it from your heart, that you know in your heart that it's going to work, then the answers become far and few between, and then it becomes a struggle. And when it becomes a struggle, then to me, it hasn't been asked in the correct way.
Right. So let's talk about that, asking things in the correct way, or finding that intentionality with this, and then learning to let it go. How do you ask and let it go? What is your process for that?
Well, it's very simple. I choose what it is that I intend to receive. In other words, I don't say, gosh, I wish I had that. Because then to me, what the universe says, well, okay, we're going to constantly give you the wish of. What I say is, I choose to have this. It's like, I don't go into the grocery store and go, man, I wish I had a can of peas, or man, I wish I had a loaf of bread, or I wish I had this. When you go to the grocery store, you physically go and you go, I'm picking this is my list, I've got bananas, I've got apples, and this is what I'm choosing to put into my basket. So for me, if there's something that's coming up that I'm not quite sure what to do, I choose to have the solution. I choose it. And so I say, I believe in my faith. And of course, I do talk to my angels and spirit guides.
Yes.
And I give them the information. This is what I'm choosing to have to come into my life. Make it the simplest, easiest, highest good way that you can manifest it for me. And then I try and leave it alone. What will happen sometimes, though, is my ego will get in the way, and it'll be, yeah, but are you sure that's going to happen this time? Are you really confident enough that this is really going to work? And I just have to stop and say, I just have to believe this is going to work. I just have to believe it's going to work, and then let it go.
Right. Wow.
So I think a lot of people can make it very complicated. I just don't see it as being that complicated. I think truly that we were given all this information, and we've become a society where we have to make it difficult, and I don't understand why. To me, it's let's make it as simple and simplistic as possible, and allow the universe to say, yes, you're a child of the universe, and of course this can work for you, and of course you can have that. And who are you to think that you could not have that? As to where a lot of us go, oh man, I don't deserve that. Oh, I don't, that's not right. I don't need this. It was really interesting because one of the challenges that I had in writing this particular book for the healer was the fact that I kept thinking, gosh, do I really deserve this? Was it really this easy to have this happen? Am I worthy of being an author? Will people just laugh and go, you're the worst author ever? I mean, all of these things would creep into my thought. And I just had to go back again and say, I just have to believe that this is going to work. I just have to believe that this is going to be successful, because it manifested itself so perfectly. It manifested in the way that I would never have thought ever. And that's, to me, the major sign when it is that simple, and you sometimes it's like, wow, did that really happen? Where it actually will take your breath away. That's when you know you were so in sync with spirit. You were so in sync with what I call the information highway, to where you will allow that positive outcome to let the universe take it, send it to the people that it needs to go to, and it will come back to you. And a lot of times people will stop it because if it hasn't happened within like a couple of months or a year, they think, well, it's never going to work. And in reality, sometimes what we have to do is we have to wait and allow the universe to make that happen. And in the meantime, there's other things for us to learn. There's other things that we can be doing. There's people we can be helping. There's classes we can be teaching. So I take it as very personal, but I know that it works, and I believe in it. And I believe that other people can get a hold of this info. And I believe that they can do the same things, because none of us are beyond the gifts that come from the universe, gift from God, gift from whatever that you choose, because all of us are worthy. And that's, there's so much negative on the planet right now, that the idea that this publishing company came and created so that we could get all of these stories, so that we could get all of these authors together, so that we could, show people, yes, there is positiveness here. It isn't all gloom and doom, and it isn't all negative. It is a positive way for us to go. That just spoke volumes to my soul, because it was like, these people are legitimate. These people are real. These people see the same vision that I heard. I didn't see the vision. I just heard, and I knew that it was going to happen. I just didn't know where it was going to come from. I didn't know who the people were going to be. I had no clue as to how this was going to time frame, any of that. But I left it alone. I just let it go. And here we are now, and I'm looking at the second book, and I'm working on the third one. So to me, this is, if this doesn't prove to you that it can happen, if this doesn't prove to you that this is something that you can take with you and work with it, then you're just stopping yourself. You're keeping yourself from success.
Wow. I got to tell you, Elizabeth, you always put a smile on my face, and just getting to just sit and listen and be with you today it just means so much to me. So thank you so much for coming on to the show. How can people get in touch with you if they want to work with you and connect with you?
Sure. Well, the best way to get in touch with me would be to text me, and that would be 214-454-0072, or you can find me on Facebook, which would be facebook.com/Elizabeth Harbin Psychic, or you can actually email me, which would be elizabethharbin.me@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the program today, Elizabeth. You are amazing, and anyone wanting to up their game and learn more about themselves and develop and connect with their own abilities, Elizabeth is the person that you need to connect with and talk to. So that's all of our time for today, and I'm Kira Schaefer.
I am Todd Schaefer, and thank you so much, Elizabeth. This has been wonderful. So much uplifting information. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Love you bunches.
Love you too.
And we will see you all next time on the next podcast. Thanks.